Guten Tag alle. My name is Genevieve and you're all very welcome to the Easter Revision course for German here at the Dublin Academy of Education. We are going to start by looking at the most important topic area and the most important section of the exam, the Leseverständnis, which is the reading comprehension. So you're going to need two handouts, two sets of notes there. The first one is the reading comprehension set, and you'll also need the reading comprehension texts, as well as the grammar book there, Complete German Grammar. So we're going to be using the three of those over the next little while. So first of all, looking at the reading comprehension, you can see there's 30%. So you've got two reading comprehensions. The literary is the first one, the literary text, and then you've also got the journalistic text. So they both carry 60 marks, and you should spend, as you can see there at the top of the notes, between 40 to 45 minutes on each of them. Okay, so we're going to look at page 3 there. I've provided lots of different tips and pointers for you on the reading comprehension. So there are a couple of them there that I'm just going to go through with you. How do you approach the reading comprehension? That's often a question that's asked by a lot of students. The first thing you do is read the questions. That's the first thing I'd always say. And for the questions that are in English, particularly the last one, I would read that first because it gives you a good indication as to what the text will be about. Okay, that's always a good thing to do. And then what I would do is I would underline the question words. It's amazing how it can be, you can very easily misunderstand or not read the question properly. So really underlining the key question words is important there. And also go and highlight the areas in the text where your information can be found, where the answers can be found, okay? One thing to note, you don't have to understand every single word. You're not expected to understand every single word, but a good understanding of the text and some intelligent reading will sometimes help you make sense of hitherto unknown words by basically examining them in context, okay? So again, what I would say there is focus on what you do know. Don't worry about what you don't know, just focus on what you do know and understand and keep going through the text, okay? When it comes to the journalistic text, you tend to have a little bit more in that. So you have your heading, you have like a heading and then a subheading. Sometimes you have pictures there as well, a few little pictures, and there's also a little glossary that's provided at the bottom of the page. I would always look at that first because it gives you, helps you, it's an extra little crutch if you like. You've got the meaning of one or two words there that helps. Okay, so I'd definitely do that. And then the other thing is if you're asked questions in German, make sure you answer in German. If you're asked in English, answer them in English. Okay. The other thing, and we're going to be looking at that in a few moments, is manipulating the text. Do you all understand what's meant by manipulating the text? I'll look through that with you. We'll have a little look at that in a little while. So they'd be most of the tips there. As I said, they're all there in the list to make sure that you follow those, and there's another set there on page 4. Okay. One little thing to point out is if you get questions and it says give details and it doesn't specify the number of details, what you should do there is assume that there are at least 3. And if there are more than 3, if you see that there are more possibilities, more than 3 possibilities that you give in your answer, I would absolutely put in more, okay? And we've seen that from going back to various marking schemes over the years. We've seen sometimes where there's been 4 or 5 things needed, and students would have lost out on vital marks there. So that's the best thing to do there. The other thing then is your tenses. So it's really important to have a very good command of all your tenses, particularly the present tense. Present is mainly used in your journalistic text. The imperfect and the plusquam, they're used in the literary text, so the novel extract, okay? So there are 3 very important tenses to know. Also the conditional and the passive voice and the future tense, they're also important as well, but you tend to see a lot more of the others in both comprehensions, okay? So what we're going to do now is we're going to focus on the tenses, okay? So if you turn to page 14 of your notes, page 14, and you'll see there, what I've done out is a little piece there on basically it's the 2013 text 2. So this is Leseverständnis text 2, and it's the journalistic text. So you can open it up there in your notes, the Reading Comprehension Text handout. So if we go to 2013, Text 2, and it's the very first comprehension there. The very first, as you open up the page there, that's the very first one you see there. And again, remember before I just said how you have the title, the main title at the top, then you have a little subtitle. Good to read that. Again, don't worry if there's a word or two that you don't know, don't understand, just focus on what you do know. But we're going to focus here on the tenses, okay? And you can see there, from looking at that, okay, on page 14, the main tense used, as you read through it, is the present tense. So what I've done is I've added all the lines here. You see line 2, the very second line there, we've got sitzt, is sitting. So we see die Familie von Sandra und Norbert Franke sitzt in Lübeck am Küchentisch. So they sit or they're sitting. Line 4 is suchen, are looking for. So that's the plural there. So the parents, die Eltern suchen. So they are looking for or they look for. Then sind, present tense of sein, very common verb, but highly irregular, are, and as you go down along you can see the tenses there. Line 20, schwärmt, raves, or is passionate about. Line 22, stimmen, and that's a little separable one there in line 22. You see stimmen and ... zu. Line 23 is sind es, it is or there are, the word order is changed there, so that's why you've got the sind, verb second item there, and then the es after it. Okay? So before we go on to the rest of that little exercise, I just want to take you back to the tenses and just a little bit of quick revision of them. So remember you've got